and roll. I'm Michael Winger. I'm the president of the Recording Academy San Francisco chapter. Wow, that is right. Wow. One of the questions that I'd like to kind of to ask Nathan to start with is, you know, what did you discover as you were making this in terms of how the city interacted with the music scene, and were they supportive, or were they, you know, like, where did the city stand, and what did the music community do to kind of make, you know, Austin what it is?
Well, like I said, the mayor created the Live Music Task Force, which is disbanded. They did it right at the time the recession hit, is when it was like hitting its fever pitch. So basically it was 14 people from around the city, managers, club owners, musicians, and people in politics, and neighborhood people who were complaining about noise. And they all like put their heads together and thought, like, what can we do? First of all, what defines a music city? So they set out to actually quantify that. And what can we do to like address the situation in downtown, which is what you saw in the film. And they asked for a lot of different things from the city government, and none of them went through. It's because of, you know, the city was just running out of money. Like, the recession didn't hit Austin as hard as most, you know, like Detroit, something like that, most northern cities, but they still had significant cutbacks. But at the same time, it brought a lot of people to the table. I think a big ceiling they hit was the fact, like you said, you can't legislate a good song. It's like, so say there is an embassy for musicians, say there's a certain amount of money set aside for managers, it's like, who decides the cool factor? Who decides who's that lucky band? And if certain bands are given access, then, you know, maybe they're opening for some big development opening or some condominium opening. You know what I mean? It's just this very tricky, slippery slope. I know England has like the Dole, and there's kind of more of an artist-government relationship there. But yeah, so not only did, when these people actually met, they realized, like, what is it that we're actually asking for? So I think that it brought up this dialogue, and we happened to be rolling when it was all happening. So there's hundreds of hours of footage that we didn't put in here. Was there anything that came out of it in terms of legislation or policy, or was it just kind of something that cropped up and brought awareness? And well, the task force disbanded, but they formed a new group actually like a week ago. I just found it out. It's called AMP. It's the same group of people, and I think they're basically pushing for livable wages for musicians, you know, and more accountability for developers and builders in the downtown area, and also clauses in all of the contracts. So when you move into a condo downtown, you know that you're moving into a music venue, or music neighborhood rather. You know what I mean? So there's terrorists running all over the place. You have to be aware of it.
Cool. Well, Bill, as far as an artist dealing with you know, the issues of being in a scene that's kind of under siege in some respects, what sort of effect did that have on you and like your performances, and in terms of like, were there aspects where you could kind of feel the pressure? I know playing like at Club de Ville, like, you know, with the apartments right across the street, that can be, like, were there curfews installed? Did you have to like cut short your shows, that sort of stuff?
Well, in my experience, the best shows aren't in clubs. So they tend to be in kind of warehouse or DIY spaces where it's like the people, you know, the people all the same age or whatever, they're putting it together for their friends, and there's a lot less barriers. There's a lot less places to do that now, I guess, but still plenty. Just go to the poorest part of town and find the largest room you can rent.
Do you find that if you go to that part of town that you're still able to like put on a show without hassle? Like, is that still something?
Yeah, but it's weird because I'm in one of those neighborhoods, but then you get some fussy kind of neighbors driving a nicer car or something. It's weird. It's not, yeah.
I mean, do you play shows downtown, like in the same, like the Red River 6th Street area, or are you mostly working on sort of outside the main
Played
street?
everywhere.
And do the venues downtown, is there a different, does that feel like it's impinging on your art because of kind of the way they're regulated, or is it more just the issue of like who goes down there?
Well, there is a viable scene on Red River. The city would be smart to keep it around. I guess 6th Street used to be something cool. Now it's kind of a joke.
It's like the Blind Pig shot bar, you know, times 20. It's just it's basically frat shop bars now.
Yeah.
And so that's the danger, I guess, with the other little pockets of, culture bubbling up. It's just gonna kind of get, if you have to get a permit for everything or whatever.
Yeah, so do they end up does it end up so that the ones that might have started out cool get overrun by their own success and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that happens everywhere. That's the way